Have you ever wondered when to compromise and when to set boundaries? Then this video is for you. I'm gonna give you 5 steps to decide when to compromise and when to say no. So you don't wanna miss this. Welcome to Next Level Consciousness with Linnea Stella. 2 things before you dive in. So the first thing is that these 5 steps are applicable to all kinds of relationships, okay? So if you're here watching this, you've likely already experienced this situation in a relationship where you're faced with this dilemma. Oh, am I actually too rigid here? Am I the one who should open up? Or is it time for me to set boundaries and call back my energy? And it is so crucial that we talk about these kind of situations because they are never black or white. And it's not something that you can Google and you can get the answer. You need to learn to foster these understanding within yourself. And that is what my videos are all for. So first thing, this can apply to any kind of relationships. It can be a spouse, a partner, friends, family, co-workers, even some kind of guru, teacher, leader that you're looking up to. And the second thing is that relationships, by definition, contain 2 people. So I will divide this video into 2 parts, within and without. And the 5 steps are gonna be in the within part because they happen within yourself. I think this is mirrored for you, but you get it. But in the end, I will also share the very important without part, and I'm gonna come to what it is, but please stick around and watch. Step 1, ask for help to discern from something bigger. And this can be your higher self, it can be the universe, God, Great Spirit, whatever you feel connected to. Because here on Next Level Consciousness, we are multidimensional. And I believe that we reach the best results the fastest when we use all parts of ourselves. Not only the mind, not only the body, not only the spirit, but all of it. So start by simply asking for it. And you can do this in prayer, you can do it in meditation, or just connect to something bigger and say, please help me discern in this situation. Because what you really need help to discern with is what option aligns with fear and what option aligns with love. Because you already know within yourself what is the right thing to do in this situation. That is why we have intuition. However, since we have so many distractions, it can be hard to discern when is it intuition speaking, when is it fear or past traumas. So if we were all living in a healed state, we had no conditioning, we had no traumas, we wouldn't need this video. But this is really to help you to get back to yourself, back to that place within yourself that already knows. So step 1, ask for help from something bigger. And if you haven't done this before, you might be surprised by how fast things change. Step number 2 is related to your beautiful physical body. And here is an interesting thing because we'll come to the mind, spoiler alert. But for the body, we often have too much stillness, too much kapha in Ayurveda, and the body is too still, too rigid, too tense, so the information cannot flow freely throughout your body because you have intelligence in your body. And if you don't believe me, think about the chakra system, the traditional chakra system with 7 energy centers, and also in human design there are 9 energy centers. They're kind of equivalent, but they have in common that the majority of the energy centers are not in the head. They're not connected to the mind, to the mental capacities of you, but they are in the body, in the physical body. And what this means is that your body holds a lot of intelligence and it's constantly communicating to you in every moment. Most of the intelligence is in the body, and in our modern sedentary lifestyle, we are often not in touch with the body. So step number 2 is all about activating your body. So get moving, shaking, dancing, work out, anything that gets the energy flow freely throughout your body, because that will help you to reach a point of discernment. Step number 3 is to ask your body directly, because now you have activated the intelligence in your body, so it is more receptive to actually give you an answer. So just ask your body, okay, is option A or option B right? And how am I gonna do with this situation? And you will feel in your body, especially if you are a generator or manifesting generator in human design. But for everyone, I would say connect to your body and feel. Is it something tensing up when you're thinking about one scenario? Or do you feel like this sparkling sensation inside of you? That is your body giving you guidance. and your body knows. In step number 4, we move to the mind. And here is an interesting difference between the body and the mind, because we said that the body is often too still. The mind is often too active, right? So we need to balance this. So we have already opened up the body, get the energy flowing, but the mind, it's more about calming the mind. So step number 4 is calming the mind in any way that you prefer. It can be through walking in silence in nature, meditating, breath work, something that helps go more from a beta state of mind to an alpha state of mind. A state of mind where the barriers to your subconscious are lower and you can hear all that guidance and you just know what decision to make. And that is what step number 5 is all about. We moved from spirit to body to mind. First, in step number 5, do we actually listen to the mind? And you ask yourself, does this option take more energy than it gives? Because maybe you feel like, okay, you are in a dynamic and it's giving you some energy, but it's taking more energy and you always leave, for example, interaction with a specific person, you always leave feeling drained. But maybe they give you something, so it's a little hard for you. It's a little vague, like, okay, what is the correct thing to do here? And we're going to talk more about what I mean by correct thing. So that's the question I want you to ask your mind. Is this energy taking more energy than it gives? And what do I mean by correct? What is actually the correct thing in a situation where you find yourself stuck between, should I compromise or should I set boundaries in some way? The correct answer is always the one that is in alignment with love, of course. And that is why I wanted you to activate yourself, to still your mind, to activate your body, because then it's gonna be so much easier for you to feel what option carries the vibration of love and what option carries the vibration of fear. And there you have the answer. And the more you do this, the more you apply these 5 steps, the easier it's gonna be for you to just know in the moment, because you're gonna be more connected to your full intelligence, mind, body, spirit. So that was the within part, and I promised you also to talk about without. What do I mean? So in a relationship, there is always 2 people, and we have now been looking at your part. But it's also important to observe the other person and to assess the other person. And the thing that I want you to do, because no one is perfect, that's the thing with relationships, that we can try to simplify by going to extremes and saying, oh, but this person let me down once, or they aren't on my level with this thing, so I'm just gonna cut them out on my life. But I'm sure that you also, as wonderful and amazing as you are humans, and you have things that you do that are out of alignment with love. So really the litmus test here, when it comes to assessing the other person, is to look, are they actually taking responsibility to face their fears, to critically look at their behaviors, and are they choosing willingness to compromise, to find common ground? Or are they avoiding it altogether, like trying to change the topic in the conversation, and you have decided to talk this out and they just postpone it and they disappear and they avoid it? That is a situation where it's time for you to set boundaries, because clearly you are not equally energetically invested. So that can help giving you one more piece in the puzzle when you decide when is it time to compromise and when is it time to set boundaries. So now we looked at yourself, we looked at the other person, but there is a final thing I want to leave you with, and that is that you always have the option to reframe how you see the situation. So if the other person doesn't change, you have the option to change. And I want to share this to empower you, because of course you should never stay in a toxic dynamic and when you feel used. But one common situation where this apply is if you live with someone, a partner, even a roommate, and they leave dirty socks on the floor. If I go to myself here, I am quite a lot in my inner world and I don't always even notice things in the outside world. So personally for me, it wouldn't bother me that much. Even though I like to have it neat and tidy around me, it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. But here is the thing. I can't tell you what to do in this situation. You have to decide by going through these 5 steps that I told you about on the inside. But then you can always choose to reframe the situation and see it in a different light, which will change how you feel about it. Because the thing is that your thoughts, your mind affects your emotions in a loop. So we have this loop between thoughts and emotions. So if you change the way you think, it will also change the way that you feel. So if we go back to the dirty socks on the floor, Maybe for you it's a very different situation. Maybe for you it's about something much bigger than those little dirty garments not being where they are supposed to be. Because maybe for you, you are a highly sensitive person and it's very important for your overall well-being to have it tidy around you. And if your partner, for example, that you live with, if they continually disrespect that and they keep just doing the same thing over and over, even if you tell them that, hey, this is so important for me, it's so important because I feel very stressed and overwhelmed, then their ignorance in this situation can be interpreted by you as they ignoring your well-being and they not caring about what you need to feel good in life. So in that context, it may be a much bigger thing than it would be for me. But maybe for me, in a situation where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set boundaries, you would be like, I'm totally compromising here because it's not a big deal for me. So my last piece of advice here is that it's always personal. So it may not always help to ask someone, how would you react in this situation? But rather go through these 5 steps, look at the actions of the other person, look if their actions match their words, and you're good to go. So that was all I had to share for today. It's getting hot in here. I'm in Mexico. Please hit the like button if this gave you any value at all, if you just want some good karma, and subscribe if you want more advice on how to improve your relationships. Love you. See you in the next video.